back. Today is Thursday, June 19th. This is episode 97 of NoobTube, a weekly independent podcast where I am totally excited to play Metal Gear Solid 4.
Yeah, why don't you wake me up when you actually get to play?
Dude, man, it's not that bad. I'll get to play soon.
Yeah, I'm sure that Angelina Jolie's going to come in here and start slobbing my knob, too.
Alright, Kojima, get your fucking cock out of my mouth.
Alright, fuck this, dude. We got a show to do. Time!
Alright, yeah, this is ridiculous. I am Yuzo Watanabe.
And I'm Tobin Coziahr. This week we'll be talking about Metal Gear Solid 4, Guns of the Patriots, Ninja Gaiden DOS, Civilization Revolutions, and Pop on the WiiWare.
Huzzah! Pop! Sounds like fun. New releases include Secret Agent Clank, Space Invaders Extreme, and Deadliest Catch Extreme. Atlantic Salmon.
Dude, I love catching crabs.
Oh, yeah?
Except I don't do it in games or near the ocean. As always, we'll have site news, culture, and community sections, but let's get started with Metal Gear Solid 4.
By Hideo Kojima at... Hold on, I need a box. I need a box. Oh...
That's like our most extended ding ever, I
think so, yeah. It took a long time.
Actually, that's oddly appropriate.
Really?
That it's the most extended ding ever.
Yeah, and you can skip it and pause it.
That's true. That's true. So. You can't skip or pause our ding.
No, this is a good wine, I must say.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's
cool.
My wedding wine.
I know, because it's not in a box. It doesn't have that cardboard aftertaste.
Yes. So I just got married, as many of you guys know, and I had some bottles of Bozo left, which appropriately enough was my wedding wine.
Yeah.
Bozo. It's French.
French for clown. But, so we actually had 3 weeks off, or 2.5 weeks off, and we needed it for this game. For this game is long. That's my word I'm going to use to describe Metal Gear Solid 4. It is long.
Yeah.
And it's not the gameplay that's long.
It's really not. And in fact, there isn't much gameplay.
There is some.
There is some. But the fact that we have to discuss whether or not there is gameplay in a game is an unusual dilemma for us.
But it's not unusual for Metal Gear.
No, it's
serious. Because remember we were talking about Metal Gear Solid 2 where we were bitching and moaning about like the 45-minute cutscene at the end. We're
that was only at the end.
Well, there was still long ones in the middle, but not like this.
Not like this. This is something above and beyond anything I've ever seen in my whole life.
This is exactly like Metal Gear Solid 2, but throughout the entire game.
Yeah, the whole game.
Right? I mean,
the whole game.
And the thing is, like, we were talking about how, 90-minute cutscenes, that was all a lie.
Yeah. I
haven't gotten towards the end, but they're saying there's a couple that are longer than an hour, basically.
Yeah, I mean... It's difficult to describe this unless you actually play the game how aggressive these cutscenes are, because it's not like they're trying to convey a lot of information.
No.
You get this feeling almost that it's just like Kojima saying, I can do whatever I want. Like, I can do a cutscene as long as I want.
So you're basically saying he's an indulgent cock, basically.
It's so indulgent. It's just there's this, like...
Let's not give it... Let's try...
Yeah,
I know.
All right, yeah.
But, I mean, there's, points in the game where I'm watching it and I'm like, my God, I know exactly what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Let it happen. And it doesn't happen for a good 20 minutes. There's all this playing and, all this references to the beauty and all this just random shit. And I'm like, I know exactly what's going to happen. I want to skip, but I can't.
But yeah, well that's exactly the problem is like you're like every once in a while they'll say something you need to know.
Yep.
But there's no fast forward, there's just skip, right? Like I'm not going to give away plot, but there's this one part where there's a showdown on boats.
I haven't gone there. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
I'm not going to give any plot.
Okay.
But literally, they pan around and show every person out of 200 people cock and aim their gun. It's like,
yeah.
And then they pan to somebody's face and they look at somebody. They pan to somebody else's face. And they look at somebody. And then the boat comes around. They cock their gun.
It's trying to build suspense, right? But over how long?
Over minutes and minutes and minutes.
Christ.
And here's a helicopter. Someone cocks their gun. There's a boat. Someone cocks their gun. They look over. Somebody else looks back.
Is there a payoff?
No.
I mean, it's then the helicopter just keeps on going.
There's a payoff in that there's a fight that then goes on for another 10 minutes more than it should.
Wow, so you actually got a little bit further than I did, because I got to the point where, like, in the beginning, like, the very first part where they actually kind of intersperse cutscenes with gameplay, that was cool.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, yeah, they're going to teach me something. Oh, yeah, but as far as, like, teaching you stuff, the tutorial, there's nothing there.
No.
Right? It's just like, how do I do X? It's just
the tutorial, they're just like, go sneak around and kill some people, Snake. Good luck.
See ya.
Like, but they've talked for like 30 minutes, right?
Yes.
And you're just like kind of sitting back, you're like checking your email or whatever, and all of a sudden it's just like you realize that he's just kind of standing there.
Yeah.
And you're like, oh, do I get to do something now?
It's time for you to play.
Yeah, do I get to play now?
For about a minute or two, maybe.
How many times did that happen to you? Like, that just shocked the hell out of you that, like, you would walk from A to B, and then all of a sudden, like, the movie starts again. I just started laughing. Like, there were parts where I was playing, and or like, you would sneak from one room to the next, and then the loading screen would come up.
Yeah.
And then, like, you'd sneak somewhere else, and a movie would play, and then a loading screen would come up, and you're just like...
And, like, you didn't kill anybody on the way.
No.
There was not much to do.
No.
Just some scenery. So here's the thing, right? It's just like, I kind of want to really give this game a thumbs down because of that. But the thing is, when I was playing the game, there's some cool shit you can do, right? There's the whole sneaking, like you were talking about in the town.
Yeah,
like, I enjoyed that.
Like sneaking, like following somebody. There's this one part where you get to follow somebody through the whole town, and it's very clever. It's very well done.
They mix it up. There's lots of different things. Like, see, I don't want to give anything away.
I know, it's hard.
But there's one point where I was just like, I'm following the guy, and like, I'm like, where'd he go?
Yes, yeah,
Right?
exactly. So they get you. So there's so of the probably, I'm going to say 12 hours that I played the game.
Yeah.
There was probably 2 hours of gameplay. There may be more.
Maybe a little bit more. Maybe
seriously, there is more video than gameplay. No shit.
Yeah,
by far.
And it got so bad for me where I got to the point where I was getting to the end of the third act.
Yeah.
And then it kind of starts a cutscene, and then the end of the third act, and then it starts this other fucking cutscene that's like 45 minutes long.
Yes.
So at some point I was just like, okay, and I'm just started talking to people with IM, bitching about the thing, and I'm talking to you, talking to these random people.
Because they're not that good. That's what killed me. Is like I was reading these reviews online, and people were like, it would seem indulgent if the cutscenes weren't so good. It's like they're not that good.
Maybe,
like,
but I think if you're one of those guys who like really like Japanese anime, because you got to admit, right, a lot of these like anime and a lot of these things, the writing isn't very good, but people eat that shit.
They love it. They love it.
And that's the thing. I think the same people are like, it's good enough.
Yeah. But there's a couple of parts where it's like they talk for 20 minutes and finally they'd be like, and here's how like this artificial intelligence works, and there was this cloning, there's whatever, and you're just like, this is almost interesting. Like if you could have just compressed this from 20 minutes to 1.
Maybe 30 seconds.
Just hit me with the points of the plot. Don't have the dialogue.
Yeah. So, it's just like, let's not like belabor the point
let's
too much.
not belabor.
The cutscenes are long, and it takes away from the gameplay. The gameplay itself, it pissed me off. The very beginning of it, I was like, I fucking hate this game.
Yeah.
Like after the first little 20-minute intro, then they're like, okay, here, get from point A to point B, and you need to like sneak.
Right.
You don't have the fucking solid eye. You don't have the trank gun. So I'm like wandering around. I'm like, oh, okay, there's a guy. Am I close enough? I don't know.
Right.
And then they'd see me, and then I'd spend like 5 minutes trying to hide.
Right. So because the first game, the first couple of games, it was a very clear sneaking puzzle in that there would be view cones.
Yes,
there would
absolutely.
be. I mean, like the goal was here's a room, here's a puzzle. You need to get from A to B.
Yeah.
And now it's kind of this urban thing where you don't know where they're looking, you don't know anything, and
their paths kind of are weird.
Yeah,
because it's not very tight quarters, right?
It doesn't feel like a puzzle.
Yeah.
It feels something else. It's like an urban.
It feels like trial and error. It feels like something that's really frustrating me. And but the thing is, like, I was about to quit because like this game like totally screwed it for me. And then I got the trank gun, and then I got the solid eye, and I'm like, this game's kind of fun now.
What's the solid eye?
So the solid eye is like it basically shows you on a little radar where people are for one, and then the other thing too is like you can kind of tell. Well, I mean, actually, you get the little bar, the little threat indicator. You get that earlier, but you can actually see guys. You can see items on the ground. It just basically makes the thing a lot easier.
Exactly. It gets less stupid because all of a sudden it's like you should have given me that to begin with because this is crucial for this game.
Yeah, or a tutorial that would have at least told you, here's how close you get to a guy. Here's because the thing is something
any tutorial something.
But so that's the thing. I mean, you take all this stuff together. This game is for Metal Gear fanboys.
Yeah.
Right? I mean, if you love, like people have been saying, if you love Metal Gear, you'll fucking love this game. You will.
But I love Metal Gear Solid 2.
You did?
Yes, I did. Okay. I loved it. Like the videos, I would admit that like the videos were too long, but the gameplay, it was good. That's one of my favorite games. Like it was one of my favorite games on PS2. It's not recently, but I mean, but this is not that. It's different. It's gone in a different direction.
Did you play 3?
Yeah, I didn't like it. I didn't like it.
Because people are gonna have problems with that.
Because they started going down that path.
Yeah, because I think that's the thing. It's just like, he knows this is his last Snake Metal Gear Solid game, so it's like. That's not a spoiler. He said
no, he said that. That's public.
Yeah, and he's old. You can kind of tell.
He's really old.
You know what's going on. I mean, he might just retire. You go to Florida, just hang out.
That's right. You're like sneaking through the nursing home. You're just like, all right, your mission: take the lap blanket from Angie. You know, it's like,
yeah, fuck you. Instead of smokes, you're like trying to get morphine or something like that.
Man, let me tell you, by the way, as an ex-smoker. I'm personally an ex-smoker. Watching an 8-minute screen where they're loading it on your hard drive where Snake's just like, how you like that, bitch? Fuck you. What? Oh, this is delicious. It's just like...
But dude, they were warning you. They were saying like, by the way, smoking is bad if you're pregnant.
They're like, look how cool Snake is, but don't smoke.
No.
Oh, don't do this. Oh, God.
As far as the cutscenes, I did like the fact that when Snake wanted to get a fucking sing, all these people, like, it was comic relief, right? It was just like, the little girl's fucking taking it.
They're always trying to stop him.
It was good.
The monkey's taking his
smoke.
And
he's like, fuck.
Yeah.
Because can you imagine? It's like, I fucking killed 100 people. I killed these freaking tentacle monsters. All I want is to smoke.
The little girl's like, no. You're like, bitch. Why don't you fucking give that smoke back? I will put a hole in your skull.
But he's got a trank gun. I don't think it'll.
That's true. That's true. Just
the monkey.
Yep.
Yeah, I kind of wish, but yeah. So like again, like the thing is, like the gameplay was good.
What gameplay there was
good.
Was mostly good.
And the thing is, I think if I had finished the game and then restarted, basically skip all the cutscenes, it'd be an awesome game. If you think about it, right?
Mostly. I mean, like, I will say that the driving scenes were poorly done.
Yeah,
because people are giving this game a 10, so I think it's very important for us to say,
fuck that.
It's not just a fanboy thing. Like, there are definitive flaws in this game. There are the camera work is bad. The camera gets in bad positions. The driving stuff, it didn't feel to me like I had to shoot anyone.
You didn't.
Like,
really?
It really felt like if I had just put the controller down, everything would have still just happened. They're like, watch out in front of you. And if you fail to shoot them, you drive through them.
Well, there's that point where you have to like get off the gun and beat the guys up and go there, right? But I mean, that because you're only taking damage. But it has nothing to do with the driving.
But there's another part where you're on a motorcycle.
Oh,
you don't have to get off. There's just literally, you're just like shooting like in front of us, behind us, whatever, and she just keeps driving. If you miss them, she just keeps going.
Nothing happens.
I felt like I could have just not played.
So, I think I stopped right at that driving because I was like, this is really boring.
I know, I played so long because I was trying every minute to like it more than I did.
It's the thing. I want to like it.
I know.
I want to like the game, and it's just like if I can just ignore the story, I think I would like it more.
I think so too.
Because people are because the cool thing about the game is like they're going through the game over and over again because you can get these new emblems. You can get a fucking Altair costume if you only use your knife through the game. And I'm like, I don't know if I want the Altair costume.
But yeah, I mean,
you can replay it. There's cool stuff that I know I will like, but it's just like the cutscenes and the fact that I kind of have to watch them because if I skip them, I feel like
you feel like you're missing something. I know. I did the same thing where like I kept going to reach to skip. I'm like, I'll give it another 5 minutes. 15 minutes later, I'm like, fuck me! I can't believe I'm still sitting here. Like,
didn't your new wife complaining?
So I was sitting there playing, and Adrian's sitting next to me on the couch knitting. And then finally, I'm like sitting there, like like the controller's down.
Like around Act 3-ish.
And she turns to me. She's like, "Are you enjoying this?" I was like, kind of, not really. She's like, because I'm really angry right now because this is so bad.
Well, angry at you for forcing.
No, she's mad at the game. Like she said, it was actually distracting her. Like she was just trying to enjoy her knitting, and she said she got so furious at the bad writing and the drawn out. Like this is one of those things where it's like for 40 minutes I hadn't been playing, and she's been knitting, and it's
like a bad movie.
Blah, 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 and she's just like, you need to do something. Like, I need to go in the other room and knit, or you need to skip this cutscene or something because this is driving me fucking crazy.
So what'd you do?
I skipped the cutscene. I was just like, all right, you're right. I need to try playing again.
Wow, I don't think you missed that much.
I didn't.
So what are you going to do? Because the thing is, I want to give it a thumbs down for all that crap, but I know
I would say you really should. I know. I want to
like,
say don't buy it. For sure, don't buy it.
Oh, hell no. It's a rental, for sure. But it's just like, look, if it's such a seminal game on the PS3. It's the only main exclusive. It's a huge game. If you like all the other Metal Gears, you should love this game.
Yeah.
I got really annoyed at it, but for half of it.
Yeah. Yeah, honestly, I think you're right. I think I have to say, if you're a big Metal Gear Solid fanboy, go ahead and try it out. But I'm giving it... I am.
I don't want... I should.
I am.
Fuck, this is tough.
Yeah?
All right,
what do you
fuck
got?
it.
Oh! Double thumbs down.
Oh, shit. It's not a 10.
It's not a 10.
It's not a 10.
It's not a 10, and it made me so angry that I'm probably not going to finish it.
Yeah.
Which just makes me sad to say that, but it's true.
And the thing is, like, maybe the game is not for us.
I think it's not. It's you just have to be. You know what? It's like Dragon's Lair. Like, you have to be just there to watch. Where it's like Dragon's Lair would play, and then eventually you hit X, and it does something, but you're there to watch.
I like Dragon's Lair.
I know, but I didn't like this story.
No. And the thing is, they added those little tiny elements during the cutscenes because they know, they're like, okay, we're taking away control from you for 40 minutes, let's add something. So then, okay,
I can't believe they let you drive around a robot inside a cutscene.
It's a different view. And the thing is, it's important, because if you don't do it, you don't get the battery, you don't get, like, this other cool shit. So you're supposed to do that. And the thing is, I was doing it, I totally didn't pay attention to the story. I'm like, whatever. I'm going to be the Mark II, just boop-a-doo. It's just bad.
The
flashbacks, hitting the X.
Yeah, hit the X.
Wow, I feel bad, but fuck.
I gotta say it. I really do, because it was just too self-indulgent. There wasn't enough gameplay, like too many movies, not enough gameplay, and the gameplay wasn't good enough to justify the movies.
The thing is, like, for me, if they would have taken out all the cutscenes or at least shortened them a lot, that would have pushed me over.
Yeah.
That would have pushed me over, saying, okay, look, it's good gameplay, it's worth it, it's worth the buy, it's worth rental.
But I can't do it.
It's a thumbs down rental.
I know, God. Just give it a shot if you're curious, but we're not going to endorse it because it wasn't good.
And we hate story. We like gameplay. So
yeah, we like good story.
Yeah, but what?
We
like good cutscenes.
Yeah.
I
like the story in Uncharted.
You were telling me that the cutscenes in Uncharted were like leaps and bounds better, and I think I agree. The acting is better. I was
on the edge of my seat on some of the cutscenes in Uncharted.
Absolutely.
I was like watching, like things would happen.
Yeah, and they weren't short.
No,
they weren't as long. They were 40 minutes. But
But I mean, like, they had emotion in their faces. The motion capture was better. The scripting was better. The music was better.
So what do you think the problem was? Do you think the problem was the right? Because I know that the David Hayter, he's annoying.
Yeah.
The voice of Snake. He is so annoying. Everything sounds like he's trying to take a crap.
It does. It sounds like he's just like, he's like, I love you. He's like, I love you too. Fuck.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's move on. We've done enough damage.
Yeah, I'm going to do MGS4 sucks in the title.
I think we might. But this time we won't be joking.
No, just like not a frowny face.
Yeah, we did the smiley in the other one. This one we're just like, merp, merp, merp. Oh, sorry, fanboys.
Hello and welcome back. This is episode 199 of NoobTube. One more.
That's right.
A weekly independent podcast where Tobin was very angry at me for some reason.
Maybe if you fucking hold the camera still instead of being some arty...
Once we get our Oscar.
That's true.
I
would like to thank the Oscar.
Yes. Weekly podcast, and I'm Yuzo Watanabe.
And I'm Tobin Coziahr, and this week we are talking about Kane and Lynch 2, Dog Days, Earthward Jim HD, Monday Night Combat, and Scott Pilgrim versus the World versus game. Good Gaming.
Versus My Free Time, which I would like back.
Yeah.
Yes, and our new releases include Mafia 2, Elemental War of Magic, Shank, and Ivy the Kiwi.
Nice.
From the creator of Sonic the Hedgehog.
Hell yeah.
But let's get started with, I believe...
Let's get started with booze. So,
hey!
So today we decided to go for a very fancy beer. This is called Allagash.
Yep.
And it is aged in oak bourbon barrels.
Wow, it looks like in a big bottle, just like wine comes in.
That's right. And it's about as strong as wine, actually.
Belgians are known for their strong beer.
It is awesome. So I suggest you guys... branch out in your beers. It is delicious.
Bing! Oh my God!
God damn!
I think this is all I'm going to be having tonight if I want to drive home safe.
God, Allagash is good. Okay, so
that was tasty.
Kane and Lynch.
So you've been tweeting the hell out of this game, like, I love this game. This game's so awesome.
Thanks for ruining the surprise. I was going to do a little build-up.
Oh, sorry.
But now it's all gone. So.
Well, I heard you hated it. I mean, it's all just a ruse.
It's terrible. But I mean, like, so Kane and Lynch won. If you go back and watch our review...
What year? I think it was the 90s or something way back in the day, right?
90s.
It wasn't last year, so it's not even 2 years ago, right?
Yeah, so yeah. So that's true. So we hated it. It was just like we hated
terrible.
the characters, we hated the gameplay, we hated like
the writing was terrible. The
pacing, the look of it, the blah blah blah. It's like so. This was coming out, and we're like, oh, Kane Lynch 2.
like, well, I don't know about it. What did somebody say? It's just something about grandma killers. Like somebody quoted one of our quotes about it and how bad it was. And there's something with grandmas. In it.
Yeah, because I mean, the guys were just dicks. They were just like these horrible criminal cocks.
Yeah.
And they just ran around. You never really felt any identification with them, and it was whatever. It was a bullshit.
And the gameplay was terrible. It was like third-person combat. I remember it was distinctly like you would go to this airport and I'd be just like running around picking up random shit. It was really
it felt like Second Life.
Yep.
So this one came out, and
who knew?
Like, I sat down, I'm like, meh, whatever. And then, so what happens is you hop in the game, and it's got camera work, and it's got a look and feel like nothing I've ever seen before.
And that's what I gotta give, like, all this other stuff aside, the art style of this game is something, like, amazing. Like, I really haven't seen it before.
So, to me, it felt, I mean, like, so the first, like, 5 or 10 minutes, I was going through, and the camera was shaking, and, like, TV was glinting off the screen, and
they had some,
stuff.
like, weird lens flare action.
Yeah, lens flare, and you know, light, rain landing on the lens, and like when you get hit, it actually blurs and pixelates. Like it's all these weird things.
It feels like I actually got hurt, as opposed to like, you know, red tinge here, red tinge here. It's just like, holy shit, I need to find some cover.
But at first, I was playing, I was just like, what is this shit? Like there was a couple minutes where I was just like, this is annoying. It's all fake, whatever. And then there was this point, like maybe 5 or 10 minutes in, my brain clicked.
What was the click point for you? I know what it was for me.
Well, I feel like the thing that clicked with me was when I was running through some sweatshop.
Yeah.
And there was just like people ducking under tables, and I was going through, and there was gunfire, and there was shit breaking, and I could shoot TVs and stuff, and all of a sudden it went from like, oh, this is some annoying fake, you know, constructed viewpoint. I'm like, I'm there. I am.
It drew you in right there. You know what it was for me?
What?
It was something that actually took me out of it, where I was just like, well, I was playing, just like, yeah, okay, this is kind of neat. I can kind of see what they're going for. Like, it's like I reckoned it to the first time I watched The Shield. I don't know if you saw that show.
Yeah.
The series is just like, where it's just like, holy shit, what's going on? Because the camera's moving all over the place, and they're like, it's kind of neat. The moment you find the guy with the girl, and she's pixelated, because her bottom half is pixelated.
Yeah.
I saw that, I'm like, I feel like I'm watching the news.
Yeah.
It's just like something that's like, it did take me out of the element, but also like drew me back in, saying like, this feels authentic. Because if it was like some, you know, boobs hanging out, it's just like, oh, every game does this at this point, right? This is different.
But in a way, yeah, exactly. Because in a way, to me, it felt like some scenes from Natural Born Killers or something, where Robert Downey Jr. is embedded and he's following these killers throughout what's happening, but he's at risk, right? Like he is in the world and shit's happening, and like, you know, they're blurring it out because maybe they're streaming it live on TV somewhere. I mean, that's kind of the feel you get, is like, this is some rendition of what happened that they're showing to people,
and it gives that feeling of authenticity, which I think is missing in a lot of games, right? Like I'm doing it, and I'm like shooting, and you see when you headshot somebody, it's like, that's so gruesome, which, you know, every other game would do it, right? Because you're in Gears of War, you're chainsawing people, and all that. It's really cool, but for some reason, it's just like the act of doing that, or are you shooting a dog? And anytime you shoot a dog, it's like blur.
Yeah, it blurs out.
I'm just like, wow, I don't know, it just got me.
It did. It absolutely got me. I mean, like there were these moments, and that's the thing is what I remember. Like, I've beaten the game already. I could not stop playing. I'm going to tell you guys right now, I absolutely couldn't put the controller down. And there were these moments where one of my favorite movies of all time is Blade Runner. And you're running through the streets of Shanghai, and it's raining, and there's neon skyscrapers in the distance, and people are shooting at you, and there's like, you know, Asian people screaming and running out of the way, and you're diving over shit, and things are exploding. I was just like, I'm in one of my favorite movies. I'm living one of my favorite movies.
You just weren't chasing a replicant.
Maybe I was.
Who
in
knows?
my head.
You know,
I was just like, that. She's a fucking replicant. Blah, 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 blah.
Get her.
Yeah.
No, it's just like they did their action sequences, they did their set pieces like perfect. You really do feel drawn in, like all sorts of shit's going on.
Yeah.
However, so I have some complaints about the gameplay. So the gameplay. And granted, I did not play as long as you, but like a lot of the gameplay elements turned into get cover and play whack-a-mole for a little while, right? Because like you do it, you sit there, and then everybody would be behind cover, and usually you wouldn't always have a weapon that can shoot far away,
right?
So you either have to like walk closer, or just kind of ping, pling, pling, and just do this cover, and it's just that kind of got annoying to me after a while. Now they did start mixing things up with the AI, because I noticed the AI is actually a lot smarter than I've seen other AI.
It's reactive. It's actually always trying to get around you.
And maybe it gets harder later, but it's like initially, like I'd be doing it, like, oh, somebody's flanking me. I'm like, wow, that's really interesting, and I go and kill him, but it didn't happen enough for me, right? It was just like, okay, pling, 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 pling.
Yeah.
And that kind of brought me back into reality again and just took it away. I mean, and granted, everything in between, all of the voice acting was really awesome.
Yeah.
The style was awesome. The set pieces, like, there's a couple of things like where I had to kill like a Jeep, a van before I was leaving. It's like, oh crap, but everybody's coming after me, so I had this blood pumping sensation.
Yeah.
But you know what I mean? It's just like, it seems like the core element is whack-a-mole.
Well, I know what you're saying, but the way that I mean, maybe having played it for hours, I started to kind of get in the heads of the designers where I saw how they wanted me to play the levels, because what I ended up doing was I didn't get stuck in whack-a-mole very often, because if they were far enough that I couldn't shoot them, like Kane would be going off one way, and I was always moving, like always moving. So
interesting. Okay.
And you start to realize that the game, like Kane will start telling you shit, like he's like you take the left, I'll take the right. You know, they start to kind of. I think that one of the major game mechanics of this is flanking. Like they always want you to be getting better positions on people, because for once in a goddamn game, your co-host or your whatever your teammate is good.
He's been killing people. I'm like, wait, I'm about to kill this guy. I'm like, clunk.
So you actually flush them out. Like if you're just even if you're doing something stupid where you kind of run out and you're going to get hurt real bad by running into cover, what happens is you start getting around people. They start to try and kill you. All of a sudden, from behind, their fucking head explodes. Right? Like Kane is actually really good. So he is on the ball, and he is not just sitting one place. Like he'll flank too. So you guys go and you're kind of like surrounding enemies. And
so you think that's what the gameplay turns into after a certain point? Because like when I was playing, like number one, definitely if you do not use cover, you die. Like I would be like, oh, there's a guy over here, die, right? And it's because he have a shotgun and kill me in one hit.
Oh, I tried to run straight in at first, like I do in every game, right? I'm just like da 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 blap, da 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 blap. Oh wait.
My reaction then was, oh, let me hide behind here and then do this. So maybe there's that other element, and usually they do that, right? They say like, okay, let me introduce these interesting gameplay elements by having the levels be different further along. I mean, I haven't gone there yet, but I mean, really, like seriously, like pling pling is like this game. It's like it's kind of getting boring. It's the same kind of stuff.
So I think you might want to try and like mix it up and get more aggressive in terms of flanking, because what happens is you'll find these things where you'll be up against a pillar, and then up the next pillar up you see a fire extinguisher, and you go up and you grab that and toss it into the guys and shoot it and explode.
I was playing this game and I'm like, man, I wish I had grenades. Like seriously, this is the one game where I'm like, I see you, I can't shoot you, and then once I found the fire extinguishers, I'm like, but then I noticed like they didn't. I don't know if it's just the range of it or something like that. Like it hardly ever kill anybody.
Oh wow, for me. Yeah, I mean, like I was killing.
Were you doing it based off the timing of when you'd actually shoot?
Yeah, like I would toss it and let it kind of bounce into their area and then like blow it up. And then
can you always shoot it no matter what?
For a couple seconds. Like if it goes, I mean, it's smart. If it goes behind a crate, you can't shoot it anymore. So it's
okay. Gotcha.
But I mean, so I think that what happened is I completely got into the zone where there's. It's
unusual for you for like these sorts of combat stuff, right?
But to me, this is kind of like an Uncharted or whatever. I mean, like it was story, it was immersive, and the battle stuff. Once I started getting into it, it felt like genius to me. Like there was these moments where, you know, I'm not going to give away plot elements, but I mean, like a helicopter crashes into a building, and you run and kill the soldiers in the helicopter, and then you're inside the helicopter, and other soldiers are coming in. They're like coming downstairs, and you're getting behind crates. And
the set pieces in this game are freaking impressive. Yeah. I wouldn't say it's to the level of Uncharted. I mean, it's not like where buildings are, at least to me, at least what I've seen so far. It's not where you're in a building fighting people and the building is collapsing.
No. It's not.
Like that was the thing where I got these chills. Like I haven't gotten that in this game, but it's really, to me, the reason to play this game for me is like being able to see the style that they have.
Yes.
This feels like such a polished game.
Right.
Overall, which you look at the original Kane and Lynch, like it wasn't at all. So, I mean, this is Assassin's Creed 1 to Assassin's Creed 2 level of improvement.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So I mean, there's these moments that like this one thing that just absolutely stuck with me when I remember vividly thinking I was running and these dudes had cut me up with knives and taken my clothes. So I'm running around absolutely naked, like it's just me with like a little sensor bar. I'm in the rain and I'm bleeding and I'm screaming and I'm fighting these people and everybody's coming out and there's like neon glinting everywhere. I'm just sitting there watching the screen. I was like, this is one of the coolest gaming moments I've ever seen. Like it was just, it totally grabbed me.
And what was it? I mean, is it just the style? Is it about like, okay. So
I mean, it's the style and I mean, you know, like you're not liking the combat as much, but I mean, for me,
there's a lot of it, right?
Yeah, I mean that's all it is. There's no puzzle solving. There's no, I mean, it is
you go to point A to point B in pretty much every mission. And that's the thing that also I think is probably a slight negative on this is that there's a story, but it's really confusing and convoluted, right? They don't give you transitions really. It's just like, okay, I'm going and I killed somebody, and then now some people are mad at me, and I'm like, right? It's just like, okay, and then I'm escorting some dude, and like I didn't really get why, and they have these interstitials, right? Between every loading, it's like buffering, which I thought was interesting. Right? They have these calls, like somebody calling somebody. I'm like, I'm kind of following along, but it's just like...
You know what happened? You were sitting there taking care of Hanzo. You were taking care of your kid, and you weren't following the story.
Maybe I wasn't. Because seriously, I would be playing, and he'd be like, here, right? And I'd be like, bam, bam, bam. I was like, wham! And I'm like, pause. Feed for half an hour. I'm telling you, come back, and
Kane
I play.
comes to town. They're doing a business deal. The business deal goes south. They kidnap Kane's girl, like Lynch's girlfriend. I mean,
wait, what?
Yeah, he had come to town to do one last deal.
I didn't even know who was who, actually. Like, I keep forgetting who was Kane, who was Lynch. Like, seriously, I'm like, okay, there's this bad guy. I'm like, okay, and like some guys are shooting me, and like now I'm escorting somebody. I'm like, why am I escorting this guy?
He's your business partner. You guys were going to sell shit to somebody.
And like, to be honest, I was pausing about every 5 minutes. So I was like, oh, and then I'd be like feeding. So maybe this isn't very conducive to...
Maybe not.
It is more experiential. But no, don't get me wrong. Like, this game is polished. Yeah. This game is solid. I hear great things about the multiplayer, but I haven't had a chance to play it, actually.
Yeah, so I've been playing the arcade mode a little bit. I haven't gotten along. So that's the problem, is I do feel a little bit bad that we didn't get to do the multiplayer as much. But the arcade mode is pretty interesting, too, where it's like you and 7 other dudes are robbing a bank.
Oh, okay.
And then what happens is you guys are running out, and then there's an escape vehicle. So you can kill your teammates and take their money. You can go to the escape vehicle and make it leave without everybody else. You can kind of betray people back and forth, but you need them to get out.
Because like all the cops. And I heard like when you die, you become a cop.
Yeah, in the Cops and Robbers one.
Cops and Robbers one, right? And then also, like, if you betray everybody, you're alone the next round.
Right.
Or something like that.
Yeah,
so,
and as soon as you shoot somebody, they can shoot you with no penalties.
Yes.
So there's kind of interesting balances like that. I mean, I played it, and it was cool. I mean, it's fun. You know me, I'm not a big multiplayer guy. Like, I went in and I tried it. I'm like, this is pretty sweet. But for me, the story in the game absolutely was the big draw.
And to me, like after playing the combat for a bit in the single player, it's like it does have that sort of feel of like kind of pling, 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 and then finally they die. And if they carry that over to the multiplayer, I'm probably not going to. I don't think I'll be that interested, right? And I'll have the same similar comments to some of the other games that we're talking about. It's just like when I shoot somebody, I want them to die. Yeah, and this is just a common thing for any sort of multiplayer,
dude. When you get the better weapons in Kane and Lynch, it's one shot, one kill.
The weapons suck in the beginning.
In the beginning, you got a little handgun and stuff. Yeah. So you get this 8-shot rifle that's not a sniper rifle, it's just a rifle, and it's one shot, one kill. And same with shotguns. Shotguns, if you get up on somebody,
get close.
Yeah. That's how shotguns work.
Yeah, but pistols, it's like pling, 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 pling.
Yeah, so you start to and like eventually you get like chain guns where you can just mow through a whole bunch of people.
And they really mow down. Okay, I think my reviews of this is going to be based off of 3 hours.
Right.
And from the sounds of it, the combat gets better. Yeah, you beat that shit. So hey.
So and one thing I do want to say is that I played through it, I beat it, and I was like, this is one of the best games of the year. I'm so super excited. Like, this is gonna be on my top Xbox
Super Mario
games.
Galaxy?
It's on the top Xbox game.
Okay. Just check in.
So I went and I rented Kane Lynch 1. Yeah. I went and
was it us?
It was not us. So I was just like, maybe I fell in love with the characters in Kane Lynch 2. Maybe I was too hard on the game. I went back. No. Oh my God, what a stinking! There's no cover system. Like there's no click to cover. It's just a duck button. So you're just basically doing this. You know, the style is shitty. Like all the combat is shitty.
The AI was really bad.
The AI was terrible.
The graphics were terrible.
Yeah, I mean, I was playing through it. I played for an hour and a half, and I was just like, I was right. Yuzo was right. Like this game, it's not like we were unfair. That game is shit. This game, the second one.
But hey, they took all the feedback, and I know a lot of people didn't like it, and they really did a good job. I have some issues with the combat. I think if you're that's the thing too. It's just like it's funny because when you're like reviewing a first or third person shooter, it's like last year's yours like Fear 2, right?
Yeah, exactly. Fear 2 is
like,
the shit.
What about blah 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 blah? And you're like, right? And like I think it's one of those things where it's like if you have the perfect harmony of like amazing story, some style, and a little bit of combat or whatever, it's just like fuck it, this is awesome, right?
If you sell me on the environment, like if it's one of these things where the combat's good and because I'm not into big burly warrior fucking Gears of War. Like Gears of War, I'll play through it. I'm like, this is a good game.
Yeah.
But I'm not going to be sitting here on the show like with Kane and Lynch too. I'm like this. I'm like, I absolutely got sucked in, and they showed me something new. They showed me something interesting. They made me feel like I was living in fucking Blade Runner.
Yep.
And you're right. I mean, this is very similar to Fear 2.
Pretty much.
Because they were telling a story. They were like really fucking with my head. They were doing all the weird ghost effects and the combat.
And I was playing, and I'm just like, the combat's just not. And for me, that's what it is, right? So it's like, I will still play Modern Warfare in the same maps over and over because I love the mechanics. I'm really addicted to the mechanics. But then I'm playing like Fear 2. I'm playing like any of these other games. Just like, I get it. Yeah, okay. But then like the story just like I'm not a story gamer at this point.
And I'm absolutely a story gamer.
Yeah. So for me, I'm going to give it a thumbs up. Rental. I think you should check it out for the style alone.
Yeah.
Style and the storyline and all that, just for all that, and the mechanics of the shooting.
It's like nothing I've ever seen before. Yeah. I mean, and I say buy that shit right now. It's fucking super awesome.
And hey, I think multiplayer, then definitely buy.
Hell yeah, the multiplayer is looking really good.